Don't laugh at me.
All right, hi. My name is Sally Zatkoff. I'm with Wycott Realtors.
And I'm Catherine Campbell, also with Wycott Realtors, and this is our third installment on Hey Banks, What Are You Doing?
What are you doing, Banks? So I think when we left off before, we were waiting for approval. You were about to close.
Mhm.
You settled.
Absolutely.
Everything went fine.
Everything went fine at settlement. It was a happy day for a family moving into their new home after waiting for months.
And your purchaser was happy.
My purchaser was happy that he was moving into his new home, but he still didn't understand why he had to wait so long. It was very frustrating for him and his family.
Okay. But he settled.
He did.
On my front, I had the one short sale that we've been waiting for 7-8 months. So I did get good news the day after Thanksgiving. I got a call from the bank, and they are ordering a second appraisal. So much time has gone by that they're now required to do a second appraisal, which, again, leads me to ask the question, what are you doing? I just feel like you're losing more money. There are 2 trusts on this property, so now they've done 4 appraisals on this property between the 2 of them, 2 each. So, and on Friday, which was the 27th, they asked me, do you think you could settle by the end of December? We don't even have the approval yet. The purchaser will have to have an appraisal done, and with all of these new guidelines that the lenders are requiring and timing for the buyer to have notification of good faith estimates and all that, it does put us in a kind of a tight squeeze in order to get to settlement without the letter in hand. I mean, we're moving forward, and that's how we're treating this. We're treating this as, okay, we're going to settle on December 28th. We're hoping everything is going to go well, and we're going to move forward. I've sent the title company all the information that they need. The appraisal has been ordered by the lender, by my purchaser's lender. The bank on the seller side is doing the appraisal tomorrow, actually. And we're just going to move forward, but it's a little scary because, the holidays are coming, and a lot of government facilities are not open, so it does make me wonder, what are they thinking? Will give me a couple extra, and my other short sale is the same thing. They want to try to settle by the end of the month, but it's a little frightening because of the holidays and so many businesses are not, people are taking off. People kind of shut down that time of year.
Absolutely.
So, and then we do have some good news also with some guidelines that just came out on Monday. That Obama has passed some new guidelines to help people that are doing short sales. Kathy, you want to talk about that?
Well, yes, they came out on Monday with some guidelines that should make it easier for borrowers to complete their short sales. Under the plan, the borrowers are going to get $1,500 from the government if they sell their homes for less than the amount on their mortgages. The mortgages servicing companies are going to also receive $1,000 for each completed short sale. And so it looks as though under the new guidelines, even the second mortgage holders can get up to $3,000.
And that's not anything new. Right now, if you have a first and a second trust on your home, for the most part, what the first trust allows the second trust to receive is $3,000. Oftentimes, that's all they're going to get. And the other side of that, if it would go to foreclosure, the second trust would oftentimes not see anything at all. So, many times the short sale is beneficial to the second trust. However, I do have one deal where the second trust is requiring the seller to contribute a little bit more. So they're getting a little bit more than $3,000, but that's not new. What is new is the $1,500 to the seller, the $1,000 to the mortgage servicing company, and then the first mortgage receiving up to $1,000 from the government. Which, and also this last part,
That's important.
the borrowers, Obama is stating that the borrowers who complete a short sale under the program must be fully released from future liability for the debt. And that is huge, because that does depend on the bank. And some banks will state in the short sale letter that we'll allow the short sale, but we can come after you at any time for the remaining amount. So if this does go into play, and these are the guidelines that the banks have to follow, that's a really good thing for the sellers. So.
The other thing we wanted to talk about was the fact that there's a lot of certification on short sales and courses on the web, etc., that you can take to become an expert in short sales.
And what do you think about them?
Well, there's several articles, and one of them was by Robert Friedman. He's a senior editor for Realtor Magazine, and in it, it talks about how Bank of America has gone through all these procedures to help make processing a short sale a lot easier. But the comments at the end of the article are from 10 people who are still having frustration with Bank of America. So despite all this training and education, it isn't changing anything.
Well, I'm all for education. I think it's very important that we educate ourselves and that we stay up on what's going on and what the processes are and all of that. But oftentimes what I think happens is that people are looking at the certification and looking at what and see that as a qualification, where I believe that experience, bar none, is, the most that you can bring to the table is your experience. And so a lot of times I feel like when I talk to people who have done the certifications and they share with me what they learned in the class, because I did not take the class, I have just done several short sales, and when I hear what they're learning in the class, I'm thinking, no, that's not right. It doesn't work that way. And I've seen it, I've seen that doesn't work. So it's just interesting to me, and I really can't help but ask, are they, it looks good on paper, but are they actually practicing what they preach? Do they really understand, that those things don't necessarily work? Maybe eventually, ideally, that's the way that it would go, but I don't know if these people that are, they're selling a course. It's not, I don't mean to knock it, I really don't, but I do question how much validity there is to what they're teaching. And how much experience they're bringing to the table.
So the bottom line is, despite all the education and training that's out there to help us with short sales, the feedback that we're getting and seeing from realtors actually processing the short sales and going through it, nothing's changed. They're still frustrated.
Right. They're still, the process is taking a long time, and there is no real process in place, and hopefully there will be eventually, but I think it's going to take a lot of time before that happens. So that's all I think that I have for today, and we thank you again for watching, and we hope that we gave you some good information. Again, if you ever have questions, you can always reach me, Sally Zakhoff, at 703-509-8344
or 703-220-6077, or Catherine Campbell.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.